What is going on, governors? Chisgule here, and today we're going to talk about the lessons learned in the Civil War of Kingdom 1507. And while we talk about that, we're going to show you footage of a flag defense, a flag rally, and capturing a Huron. So strap yourselves in. This is going to be a good one. All right, we've had a chance to reflect on the crazy Civil War in 1507. This is where our restart project is. The footage you're watching is my restart account, where we have spent money, but we're not spending like crazy like we are on our main account. And there are some really important takeaways from this Civil War that can certainly help you in your kingdom learn from the things that have happened. Now, what you're watching is flag rallies and defenses, a part of the drama that led up to the weird Civil War that took place. So what we're going to do is briefly review the history as I understand it for how this Civil War unfolded, and then we'll get into the lessons learned that can apply to really every kingdom, and we'll talk a little bit about the defenses and rallies that you're actively watching. So if you like Rise of Kingdoms war footage, you should like and subscribe to get more content just like this, and we are a sponsored creator with Rise of Kingdoms. This particular defense is a tough one. In a prior video, card will be up in the top, we defend this flag a whole heck of a lot, and man, that fun does not seem to stop. Now, let's give the context for the Civil War in Kingdom 1507, which was as follows. We started this KVK in a corner kingdom. That's right, I'm 4 out of 4 KVKs of being in a corner kingdom. Yay! So, we're in a corner kingdom, which means we're battling two kingdoms. One of those kingdoms, which was to the west of us, has an alliance named Han, and a kingdom to the south of us was also battling against us. So we had two kingdoms we were battling against, the kingdom that had Han and the kingdom to the south of us. Now, at some point, some sort of ceasefire was arranged with the kingdom that Han was in. However, no ceasefire was made with the kingdom to the south of us that we were still battling. And while we were battling them, Han broke the ceasefire by attacking us. Now, this is how I understand everything to have unfolded, and this is going to be a part of the takeaways, so bear with me, okay? So, Han attacked us, and this is what you're watching now is some of that craziness. We fought back with them. So, the original leaders of Kingdom 1507 got upset thinking that we somehow had broke the peace treaty with Han, even though they had broke the peace treaty with us. So, what somehow they felt was appropriate was to start attacking us. That's right. The other alliances of 1507 started attacking our alliance and one other alliance. It's just mind-blowing to me. Now, what you're watching on the screen at this moment, which I do want to talk about, is a rally in on the flag, Richard I and Sun Tzu at the helm, and counter-rally launched with Minamoto driving that counter-rally. However, that counter-rally getting swarmed down by the massive number of Han players that are in the open field. Julius Caesar Hannibal Barca leading the primary rally against the flag. A great early game pair. You can do better later on, and you can even do better for this KVK if you had, since the beginning of the game, been optimizing your sculpture use, perhaps. But honestly, for a kingdom 100 days old, these are some pretty fantastic commanders to be using for rallies and defenses. Okay, getting back into the drama. So these other alliances in Kingdom 1507 decide that somehow a civil war is the right course of action. They start burning our flags in the Lost Kingdom. Now, we need to give a little bit of context about our restart project, okay? We started in Kingdom 1514. And we battled there, and we were doing stuff there, and there was peace in the kingdom. And for some reason, they decided they were going to evict our alliance from the kingdom. I have some ideas around why that was the case, but let's not go there now. So, we are refugees in Kingdom 1507. We came here because we were exiled from another kingdom, which is why our alliance name is Exiled Reborn. And so for the kingdom here to also be attacking us when we were on the front line battling on behalf of the kingdom not only seems like a pretty awful backstab, because like we've been burning our troops and fighting really hard for this kingdom, and the way you're going to reward that is by battling us and destroying our flags. Give me a break, right? That really got people upset and frustrated and angry because look, like nobody wants to be betrayed, especially by the kingdom that you came to as a refugee because you were betrayed. So that got people pretty fired up. And if you want to see the live stream where all of that warring unfolded up into a point where we now have achieved peace, which is a great thing, I think that's a smart choice. I think it's the only correct choice given the situation, and we'll talk about why that is as a part of the lesson learned. Check out the card in the top for the video where we live stream the warring and are fighting for our lives in this kingdom because we are being exiled, and that is tremendously uncomfortable. So, so much going on. That's the context. Now let's get to some of the lessons learned. The first lesson learned is that there are 0 situations in which a KVK is coming up, and it makes a lot of sense to battle alliances that are trying to be participative in KVK. Maybe there's some weird situation where there's some alliance within your own kingdom that's operating counter to the way that the kingdom needs to be moving, but like clearly there's some sort of misunderstanding or communication gap here. Clearly there's some misunderstanding of reality, or perhaps there is a proper backstab, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And what some of those theories are. But there are 0 situations in which you should attack the alliances within your kingdom within KVK, because you're just depleting yourselves. The other kingdoms are all laughing at you and your leadership choices. It's a bad decision all the way around. Mind-blowing that would be a choice to be made. It depletes the kingdom. And look, people are just going to migrate out. So you're not only wrecking your current KVK, you're wrecking all future KVKs, basically. My opinion. Here, by the way, we've got a report. It doesn't go particularly well for us, and at this stage of the game, offensive commanders can do really well. The way that we make up our value is by Sun Tzu's AoE damage, hitting people that are outside the flag nearby, and even if they aren't attacking the flag, instead of having severely injured units, they have deaths. This is one of the huge advantages of being a defender, and what your area of effect damage can do to the people that are standing near a flag, even if they aren't attacking it. Okay, so that's one of the big sort of lessons learned is there's really 0 situations where attacking one of your own alliances in your kingdom is a good idea. The only time in which that would make sense is if like they're already attacking you, which we weren't. Here is a flag rally. We're going on offense, and I wanted to flip the script. Defense was not so great for us. We just didn't have the best commanders to be doing that with. And the commanders we had are like really solid, but like we could do better. Like we've prioritized offense over defense. And like, look, for again, an account that's like 100 days old, it's in a pretty gosh darn spectacular place, but offense is our stronger play, so we start to play it. And you can see that start to unfold a little bit here where we hit this flag and it goes pretty gosh darn well. We wanted to really flip the script to go full offense because that seems to work for us, and I really wanted to push until we could push them back to their starting zone. Here you can see we had 92,000 dead. They had 193,000 dead, which is a really positive trade for us. Okay, so let's get to the next lesson learned, which is that communication sucks. People are always under communicating. However much you think you have communicated, you have not communicated enough. I have learned that as a king in multiple situations, including in my current kingdom. I can do a better job of being more communicative, and this really helped me appreciate just how much you need to over communicate what it is that you're saying and doing, because oh my gosh, like there were kingdom mails from this kingdom where they're trying to sort of explain what's going on, but as a player, who just sort of checks in on this account occasionally just to keep it going, and I'm not playing it hardcore. I've got Chisgule, my main account that I play hardcore. Like, I did not understand 99% of what was going on in this kingdom. All I knew was two things. My alliance is under attack at a flag. I'm going to go defend it. And, oh my gosh, now the other kingdoms in our alliance are attacking us? Like, what in the world is going on, right? Like, all this context that I spent a bunch of time collecting and explaining to you in a really brief way, we didn't have any of that. It's just like, we're under attack, and you just go defend, right? So you really have to over-communicate and really appreciate the fact that 99% of players, even though they care, do not know what's happening. And that's the reason why I think the Civil War choice by the leaders of Kingdom 1507 was non-optimal, because, like, look, you got to understand that, like, 99% of EXR has no clue what in the world is going on in KVK or in the kingdom, because there's not enough communication about it. Even though you've sort of communicated, like, hey, there's, like, a ceasefire, like, one short kingdom mail, like, doesn't do the job. And I don't want to be overly critical of the Kingdom 1507 leaders in their communication, because, like, I'm making the same communication errors. So, like, that's a tough one, and we can all learn something here about the volume of communication that is really needed to run a kingdom. Like, it is baffling to me. Now, Kingdom 1507, to my knowledge, doesn't have a Discord. I haven't seen anything about that. Discord, I find to be a much better place for communication. Definitely set one of those up for yourself if you haven't yet. Now, what you're watching here is a rally on a Huron, and it's going pretty well. We're taking this thing. It's got a 5% defense boost, so we're definitely all in on that if we can get it. Super crucial, super important to pick up. And one thing that you notice me do is I try to reinforce rallies rather than start in a rally. The reason that I'm trying to do that is that I know I will reinforce a rally, but I don't know that other people will. So if other people will fill the rally before it launches, then I'll just position myself to reinforce it, because, like, I know I will commit to that reinforcement. Does that make sense? Like, I want the rally to get reinforced, and I think it is much more likely the rally will get full the first time and not reinforced than it is that, like, if we fill it the first time, that those people who would have filled it the first time are now going to come reinforce. I hope that made sense. It's a little bit convoluted, but we're hitting this thing, taking advantage of the fact that we can be on offense. We actually could have much more troops in this rally. We're doing okay with keeping it full, which is why, again, I like to reinforce rather than be a part of that initial crew. I suppose, theoretically, I take slightly fewer deaths by virtue of making that choice, which is really not the thing I'm trying to do, but whatever. Big takeaways here, okay? Communication needs to be plentiful, and 99% of the kingdom does not understand 99% of what's happening, and Civil War, not a great choice. What was a good choice is their decision to end the Civil War soon. Boom, there's the capture. Ending the Civil War was a great choice because, again, the only outcomes are people are going to leave the kingdom, and you're going to deplete your own alliances. No winning scenario. They switched captains in this defense, so the number of kills that we have is a little tricky to see. We had, I think, 50,000 deaths, and they had 150,000 deaths in one of those, and here you can see we had 219,000 die, and they had almost 1 million die. Savage. Minamoto and Cao Cao, obviously not the right pairing for that defense. Yikes. I don't know what's going on there, but it was not good for them. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, I hold no ill will towards the players of 1507 or Han. It's a game. We make choices, right? Like, we're all allowed to have opinions and thoughts and feelings about how all that's gone. I learned actually a whole heck of a lot from this experience, and it's going to make me a better king. So hopefully this helps you out as well. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more crazy war action, please do like and subscribe. And we are looking for a new home. I don't know if we're staying in 1507. Probably not. Can't imagine that we would stay somewhere where we were attacked by other alliances in the kingdom, rather than treating us as, I think, the valuable asset that we are, a group of experienced warriors looking to join a warrior kingdom. So if you'd like to invite us to your kingdom, we are looking, and the person you want to talk to is Irish Bastard. That's their name. You'll see them in-game as the leadership of EXR. I hope that there is continued positive relations in this kingdom for as long as we're here, or that something works out where maybe we stay here, but it just feels really unlikely to me that the player sentiment is going to be staying in this kingdom, and many of you are advising to GTFO to find a new home. Whew, so much to talk about. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.